Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program The Journey Begins, part 19. We start with another quick recap as usual. This time you see Jebediah and Gwemby Kerbal blasting off from the KSC in another one of our shuttles, and well, they've got a date with our nuclear probe. We're going to go up, much as we have been doing in recent episodes. We're going to go up, take its old science package off for the boys and girls at R&D to get their hands on, and we're going to give it a fresh science package so that it can go and do some more science this time around Minmus. You see us here, we get ourselves nice and close before the probe comes in, delivers its old gravioli detector package off and picks up a brand new one. Once it's refueled, it's time for our craft to say goodbye and time to pack away our things, and then it's time for the shuttle to head back into the atmosphere and hopefully for a safe rendezvous back at the KSC. We cross the deserts in bright blazing sunshine and everything's looking well, and after a bit of re-entry heating, which is par for the course, we find ourselves on a good approach, and we do make a good and safe landing back at the KSC. Starting to get the hang of this now. Anyway, moving on. Meanwhile, in space, we plot a course to Minmus with our probe before we make our burn, and once we're there we start taking those negative gravioli readings, and as we're leaving Minmus, I sort of make an awkward discovery. You see, it's going to take our probe about 15 days to get back to Kerbin, and well, we don't have that length of time to throw away. You see, our launch window's in about 20-odd days, so we're going to have to leave the probe here. I mentioned this, I discussed this more in the live commentary later, or earlier as it was for me. I get terribly confused about this in the live commentary, and just ignore me when it happens and go make yourselves a cup of tea or something. Anyway, moving on to today's main mission. So, having left our probe to go the slow way round, we return to more pressing matters, more immediate matters, with a newfound sense of urgency, and so to that end we are blasting off from the KSC in one of our Brunel Mark I rockets. Bargel, Bob and Kerdard Kerman are along for the ride with this one, and we're just going through the launch at 4 times time acceleration, as per usual. Now, today's mission here is to deliver the third module to the Duna vehicle. It's a multi-purpose module, no less, and it'll require a bit of tinkering when we get up there. But well, more on that as and when we get to it. I've nearly finalised the design for the Duna vehicle. Well, I've pretty much finalised it. It's just a matter of how many engines I stick on the thing, because we're using nuclear engines, very high efficiency, but the engines themselves are very heavy, so I could just put one on there, get the most out of E, but I'd be sat in front of my computer screen for a week whilst we make the transfer burn, so I'm sure I'll come up with a good compromise. The other issue is, the other option I had was one that KSP Interstellar, the mod, introduces, and that is whether to go for liquid fuel or liquid hydrogen. I think we'll be sticking to the liquid fuel for this one. Liquid hydrogen is just better ISP, but it's just too bulky, and those containers are a pain in the backside to get into orbit. Anyway, we're pushing our apoapsis up here, further and further out of the atmosphere, getting ourselves to a good height, and now as we cut our engines, I think it's a good time to go back to regular speed and go back to the live commentary. Right, so let's get this fairing deployed, and now we can turn around and attach ourselves to our little module for us to take off to our ever-growing Duna vehicle. Let's get ourselves pulled away from that launch stage. Open the shield there. Flip ourselves around. You know the drill by now. We've done it enough times. Turn around. Lined up. Yeah, I reckon that's about it. Arrest off. Backwards velocity, control from here. Set as our target. So what do we have here? We have ourselves a little science and fuel section. Dual purpose there because, well, we're trying to spread the weight as evenly between as many launchers as possible. You know, there's no point taking out one module that's got next to nothing on it and then not being able to lift the next one off the ground. How are we doing? Looking good, looking good. Having to do it by eye. The prograde mark has not appeared on the nav ball, which isn't helpful. Yes, we've also got some electric storage. I'm just going to arrest that a second because I don't think we're quite lined up there. Just need to lift ourselves a bit. I think that's probably better. Yeah. And forward we go once again. Because we picked up the tech, we are going for these docking port seniors, the Clampatron seniors. Here we go. Yes! Turn that off for a start. Let's decouple you. Turn the RCS back on. There are some RCS thrusters on this. There's no fuel. There's no RCS fuel in the module. It's just using the fuel that's on board the orbital vehicle. But that will obviously help us control the Duna vehicle once we've. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong thing because this is not the right way up. Let's ditch that and start our engines. And we want to get this pointing prograde because, yeah, our apoapsis is fast approaching. So, yeah. So we've gone for the Clampatron Senior there. Start thrusting a little bit. But this means we can't dock it straight onto our little orbital vehicle here, so we've had to put a little adapter here. Like we used for the probes, that's quite a few episodes back by now. But for our little lander probe that we took to the moon, was it to Minmus? I think it was to Minmus. Let's get that orbit circularized. Yeah, there's a little bit more mass than I think I appreciated here because of all that fuel. That will have to do for now. So we just got this little adapter on there. Obviously, we'll take this up to the Duna vehicle, get this attached. There's also a bit of power storage here, you might have noticed. Get this docked to the Duna vehicle, then we'll the orbiter will take this away with it, and then just ditch it to burn up in the atmosphere. Talking of which, I am going to get this turned the other way up, just so I don't get don't start pressing the wrong thing again. Right, map view. We need to set a date with our space station. Set as a target. And we are nearly at that node, 0.1. Wasn't a bad launch. We are going to add a maneuver anyway. My mouse is playing up a little bit. Ascending node there, so we want to go down. Will you behave yourself? There we go. 5.1 meters per second. Barely worth it, but helps us to get a nice straight-in approach at the space station. And you are in 1 minute and 17. My mouse is not having fun today. Time accelerate forward a little bit. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. Just finish that off with some RCS. There we go. And that'll do us. So now we need to start planning our approach to the space station. Yeah. Got a couple more mods to talk about later on when we get to sticking the vehicle on the end of the sticking the module on the end of the Duna vehicle. But as I said, we'll come to that. Well, as I didn't say actually, as I'm saying now, we'll deal with that when we get to it. We're going to need to start accelerating a bit further around before we can actually plan our rendezvous. I launched maybe a touch too late. Maybe I had a little too much on the safe side, but not to worry. Come round here again, and what are you? 0.9. We can do better. 1. I think there's one in the middle there. 0.7. 1.7. You're not playing ball today, are you? That'll have to do. We'll tweak it when we do the burn. But let's get ourselves round to the other side of the planet so we can start doing our burn. Crawling around at 50 times time acceleration because that's all it'll let us do. This low in orbit. I think the developers could have let us go for like one more notch. I mean, up to 1,000 would probably be ridiculous at this altitude, but I don't think 100 times would have been that unreasonable. Again, not to dump on the work the developers have done because this game is bloody amazing. Where are we? Minute. We are going to need to get ourselves pointing prograde. So yeah, as I probably said in post commentary earlier, I'm planning to say, because you've already seen it, but I haven't yet recorded it. So yeah, what I'm planning to say, what you probably have already heard, is that yeah, time is running away with us, so we need to get this thing. We need to get this thing assembled fast. Which does sort of start to bring up the question of what comes after this series. That was it's been something I've been thinking about a lot recently. I mean, what do we do after we've done this series? I mean, obviously there'll be another series along before too long, but what to do in the in-between time? I've got a few ideas. And I have overshot that, so we fire up the RCS. That's actually decreasing. I'm going to do that with thrusters because that is just horrible. Yeah, this is going to need a hell of a burn when we get there, because we're going to have quite a lot of relative velocity, but not to worry. And let's get ourselves time accelerating round. So yeah, as I was saying, got a few ideas. Probably not enough, but you know, cross that bridge, you know. Right, that is in 4, 3, 2. Let's get ourselves switched to map view. We are going to want to get ourselves pointing retrograde with respect to our target. We don't want to come in too fast because we don't want to damage the thing we've just spent. Well, I don't know how many in-game hours I spent doing this, but yeah, let's not ruin it now. Can time accelerate forward a little further. Just watch the little burn time indicator there. Oh, crap. That's a lesson on how not to do that. Just focus so much on the burn indicator you forget to actually press the damn button to fire engines. Let's get going a little faster than that, because you don't want to be hanging around here all day. Now let's get ourselves pointed retrograde. Are we coming on the right side of the space station? No, not quite. We're going to need to fix that. Just a panicked burn there, just because I realised it's coming in fairly quickly. Right, so yeah, as per last time, I won't make you sit through the tedium of me getting this docked and me umming and ahhing. So I will we'll switch to post commentary again, and I will see you back here in a second. So we reorient our craft before firing up those RCS thrusters and bringing her in gently. This does take a while because I was being extra especially cautious. As you see here, we take care to line everything up exactly. We don't want this to go wrong, and take a bit of care especially to get our roll alignment correct. The reason for that will become apparent in a little while. Anyway, all goes well. We get docked to the space station, and now it's time to step things back down to normal speed. Okay, now we're docked. I think we might be losing the sunlight soon. No, the sun's right over there, so we've got 10 minutes or so. So we want to get our erstwhile engineer, Bargel. The reason why you're here. We want to get you out of here because we want to make use of one of our mods. Well, technically speaking, two of our mods, although you very rarely see one used without the other. And that is Kerbal Inventory System and Kerbal Attachment System. Kerbal Inventory System just allows the Kerbals to have an inventory, sort of does what it says on the tin kind of thing. I'm going to go around here and see if I can get myself to clamber on that ladder. See if I can get Bargel to clamber on that ladder, I should say. Gently ease her forwards. Remembering to press the right things for... There we go. Kerbal Attachment System allows you to do things like this. We have two of these little portable strut connectors. So we can Can I reach to that? I can indeed. So it allows me to build small little things in space, so I can use these struts. I can... there are also, like, fuel adapters, fuel connectors, and all sorts of things like... Well, not all sorts of things like that, but it's a very versatile thing. It also allows you to sort of, like, actually take small parts that are in the base game. Oh, and then I want to go up. And actually attach them to the outside of the craft. Sorry, I just went very quiet there whilst I was concentrating. I think we will... Oh, if I can stop smacking Bargel's head into the space station. Concentrate on what you're doing, eh? Let's come in here, grab hold of you. There we go. This is just to give it a little bit of a structural stability. Make sure it doesn't wobble around too much. For when we're flying, obviously with the Clampertron seniors, that will prevent that from happening with the rest of the ship. But got the technology just a little too late for that first module, but allows us to come and have a play around with the Kerbal attachment system. So it's not all bad. Let's do this final one. Link you and Bargel, if you could just take that up to there. We have a structurally sturdy spacecraft. Well, hopefully a structurally sturdy spacecraft. Anyway, let's... Bargel has done one complete orbit of the Duna vehicle. It's time to get her back into the Brunel module, Brunel orbiter. Just bring you in and grab. Get up to the hatch. Board, and that is job done. Yeah, looking good. So we have 3 modules on our space station now. So not space station. Well, we do have more than 3 modules on our space station. We have 3 modules on our Duna vehicle, is what I was trying to say. So with all their work complete and taking this little adapter with them, it's time for our Brunel crew to depart. Let's go over to there. Pull themselves away from the space station. And I think we'll close this out in post-commentary. And I forgot to extend those sodding solar panels again. Ah well, not to worry, eh? We wait until the sun's almost set before performing our deorbit burn, which means that by the time we get round the other side, the sun's just rising and we can re-enter in daylight. We get rid of our junk, and just as we're entering the atmosphere, our adapter flies past us, looking rather pleasingly like a flying saucer. We also get this lovely shot of moonrise just as the re-entry heating starts to kick in, and well, the rest of the journey goes smoothly, and before too long we splash back down into Kerbin's oceans. So that's all for today, everybody. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Next time we've got some more Duna vehicle to assemble, but I'm sure we'll find ourselves distracted by 1 or 2 other things as well. So until then, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.